Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ladies Power Lunch. Thank you all so much for joining. I'm pretty sure that today's topic is probably one of the most popular topics we've ever put out there, Investing 101. And as women, who thinks that we need to be a little bit more connected to our money? Anybody? Is it just me? I think it's just me. Everybody feels that way. Awesome. So we do have some people joining us live over on our Facebook group, and we welcome them. And welcome to all of you who joined us today. I just want everybody to get a fair idea of who everybody else is. But our guest presenters today are Latisha, Maureen, and Jackie. So let me start with Jamie and then Rishma, and then Miss Brito. I'm going to ask you guys to just quickly say, what's your name and what's your business? That's all. Just your name and your business. And then we're going to dive right in because I have tons of questions and I'm sure you guys do too. So, Jamie, who are you? What on earth do you do?
Thank you. So I have just recently started a company called Coordinated Creativity Virtual Solutions. So I'm a virtual assistant.
I love that. That's awesome. Everybody needs a virtual assistant. I'm just going to keep putting my hand up the whole time. Rishma, welcome. So happy to see you. How are you doing?
Good. I'm Reshma Bhojwani. I'm a money wisdom coach, and I'm also the author of the finance book, Pandemic Budgeting and Finances: How to Use Piggy Banks and Stop Counting Sheep.
Did you post it in the Ladies Power Lunch group, perchance?
Not yet. I had done it when I was asking everybody to celebrate with me, but I need to do it where now telling everybody it's available on Amazon.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. Thank you, Rishma, for
Thank
sharing.
you.
And Jasleni, did I say that right or did I say it completely wrong?
Nope, you have said it right. My name is Jasleni. Hello, everyone. I'm fairly new to the group, so this is actually my first time.
Welcome.
I'm excited to be here. I'm an artist and graphic designer, so my business is, in a nutshell, everything you can need for your business goals: marketing, branding, web design, that sort of thing, book covers, that sort of thing.
Okay, so I'm gonna probably just recommend right away. I have to do things when I think of it, guys. There is no format here. I do the things that come to mind because you guys probably don't know this, but I actually have a job where I actually see patients. So I have to do ladies power lunch things when I have time for it. Jasleni, I think a good person for you to connect with in our group is Lynn Gallant. If you have a chance to check in with her at some point today, I think that would be a great idea. So let's see who our special guests are today. Coming to us all the way from the other side of Connecticut, we have Maureen. Maureen, can you tell us who you are, what you do?
Yes, thank you. So Maureen Decker, I'm with Prime Financial Services. We do broad-based planning for individuals and small businesses. So that would include a lot of things: retirement planning, college savings. We're really focused on taxes, so tax strategies. We do tax preparation. If you're on extension, you have until the 15th, just a reminder. But we also do vesting, annuities, insurance. We pretty much do everything. That's it, I think.
Awesome.
Oh, did you want background too?
Sure.
Oh, okay. So quickly on the background, I've been in the investment management industry for about 24 years. I come from the institutional side, worked as a consultant and for a number of firms, and then switched to personal planning. Thank you.
Awesome. And I would love for Jackie to introduce herself.
Oh, it's an honor to be here, and I'm so grateful to be part of this panel with Latisha and Maureen as well. So I'm Jackie Baldwin, financial advisor with B&L Financial Architects. I have been in the business, the financial services business, for 34 years. And I broke away from a firm I had been with for over 17 years, 4 years ago, to start my own firm. I believe that given some personal history that I've had, it makes me uniquely qualified and wanted to focus on working with women in transition, whether that be transitioning in a marital status, deciding to leave that corporate job that you've been at for 30 years and start your own business that you're passionate about, or whether you're about 5 years away or so from retirement and you just want to make sure that you're in good shape. So that's me in a nutshell. And I take a very holistic approach to my financial planning, and that is because I believe in the triad of health, which is you need to have financial wellness, physical wellness, and emotional and spiritual wellness. And if any one of those three are neglected, it has a serious impact on the other two. And so that's why I love being part of Ladies Power Lunch and connecting and collaborating with so many of my fellow ladies in such other areas such as wellness and so forth.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie. And I just want to take a minute before I introduce my dear friend Latisha. I just want to take a minute to shout out the women who've joined us over on Ladies Power Lunch in the Facebook group. Hi, Luana. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Mickey. Mickey just had a birthday, or maybe today's her birthday. So let's sing her happy birthday. But I won't because, you know, my voice and all of that. Hi, Wendy. Wendy says she's ironing. That's awesome. Hi, Lynn. Lynn says, hi, Jackie. And we have a bunch of people who've joined us because this is such an interesting topic. May I please welcome our very special guest, Latisha. Latisha, can you share with everybody who you are and what you do? And I just want to say that I've spent some time backing and forthing with Latisha about stocks. Like, what do you think about this stock? And what do you think about that other stock? So trust me, she's a really, really great go-to person. Latisha, where are you?
Hi, my name is Latisha Douglas of Komoda LLC. We are a real estate investing and small business consulting company, mainly rehabs and buy and holds. And for small business, we do consulting around automation and small business finances. So I am a little different from Maureen and Jacqueline, pretty much more self-taught. I've always loved numbers, loved finance, loved investing. My career, I spent 20 years in the corporate world on the IT side, database management and data analytics. But I've been investing since probably about 2000, 2001. So over the last 2 decades, I've just tried to teach myself, always learning, always just constant growth and learning in the investment space.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. And I love the idea that you're offering your clients the opportunity to not just trade in stocks, but also to look at the real estate side, which is kind of giving us an opportunity to round out our portfolios, right, ladies? Look, man, we have got to get on top of our money. I want to say hi to Dina, who joined us over on Ladies Power Lunch as well. So let's go back over to Maureen. Maureen, how about you share with us, what do you think are the do's and don'ts of investing? What are some of the things that we should all be doing? What are some of the things that we might be missing out on when it comes to this whole idea of investing, especially for us as women?
So I would say, you know, the biggest thing is to save. The best time is yesterday, actually. You can never start saving early enough and enough. You know, retirement costs you more than you think. People think they're going to spend less and they really don't. A lot of expenses come up that are unforeseen. Women live longer than men, so women have to save more. Women are more likely to have a long-term care need. That has to be considered. In terms of investing specifically, you have to diversify. I see a lot of people that have stock portfolios with 5 securities, and I just get so nervous. You got to focus on taxes. I can't emphasize that enough. Taxes really matter, and there's structures outside of the stock market that can actually be better savings vehicles. Life insurance is the big one. So be educated on the implications of taxes. It's huge. Have an open mind, educate yourself, learn, and don't delegate to your spouse. That's another big one. For so many reasons, death, divorce, a medical issue. You know, you'll be thrown into this at the time when you don't want to deal with it, and that's not the time to start. So please educate yourself.
I feel like you've hit the nail on the head as far as that goes. I think the biggest do, I would say, is educate yourself. Know about it. I feel there are very many of us who do delegate the taking care of the finances. And I think maybe being more in a partnership as opposed to leaving it to somebody else makes a ton of sense when we're talking about something as important as our money. Jackie, let me bring you up on camera. You probably did one. And by the way, Jackie and her company, they have been so kind and they've stepped up as one of our Ladies Power Lunch fall sponsors and really appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Jackie has been probably one of the first people to be one of our presenters for the Ladies Power Lunch Coffee Breaks because she is willing to talk about some of those tough topics like how to get prepared for your final expenses. I think that was what we were talking about that first time.
Yes.
I mean, we had a full house, we had a great turnout, but it's not a topic that many people want to think about, you know. So
Right.
Jackie, tell me your do's, your don'ts.
Sure. So first of all, Maureen and I are on this exact same page regarding everything. We've chatted before, and we were like, we're so excited to be meeting each other, and we're going to start bouncing ideas off of each other as well. But absolutely key on education. I spend a great deal of time actually doing investing 101 with my clients because I don't want them to I don't want to be like, just trust me, do what I say. They have to understand that there are various components to a financial plan and how they work together and how they help you create a financial plan that can weather any storm. That's critical. So my first do is to build a solid financial foundation. Our firm is B&L Financial Architects for a reason. We build and design plans built on a solid foundation. And so what I mean by that is you need to have the savings, emergency savings, so that we're not tapping into or creating debt that we don't necessarily need to have. Pandemic, key point in time, right? March hit, a lot of our businesses were affected by that. So we wanted to make sure that you have that emergency savings. Second, don't panic. There's a lot of market volatility. We're going to be heading into a time through this election and after where there's going to be continued market volatility. And what I mean by volatility is we're going to see lots of ups and downs. Don't panic over those daily changes. If you have a solid plan in place, you don't need to worry about that over the long term. So stay the course. Don't panic and trade and and say, oh my gosh, everything's happening. As far as the election is concerned, it doesn't really matter who gets in office over the longer term. There's not been any history over the last several decades showing that one party is better than another over the long term. So we don't need to be panicking over this. Don't make investment decisions, long-term investment decisions based on that. And third, as Maureen mentioned, you want to make sure you have a diversified portfolio. And so when I'm speaking to my clients, I like to use the car analogy. So you have a portfolio, for example, that has your core holdings in it. You know, the things that are made up in the S&P 500, secure bonds, things like that. That's the engine of your car, and your car keeps moving forward. But we also need to have a steering wheel, right? Because sometimes there's obstacles in our way, and we want to be able to turn the car to at least partially avoid the obstacle. Or if you're like me, I'm a coffee hound, and maybe I see that off this exit, there's a Dunkin' Donuts that I'd like to just take a spin off and get that pumpkin latte that they have right now. I need a steering wheel and able to do that. So you need obviously the engine of your car, and then there's other tools that we can have in our toolbox that provide the steering wheel. So it's really important to have that diversified portfolio. So I think that's it. And I cannot reiterate enough, same with Maureen, start saving today. It's never too late, but it's also absolutely never too early. Don't wait for it to be the perfect time. That's it.
I love all of those tips. So, Latisha, come on camera and let's talk a little bit about your do's and don'ts for trading.
Okay. Well, I like what Jacqueline said. One of the key things is for the long term, right? So a lot of people are afraid of investing in the market because they're afraid of losing money, right? And yes, there is a possibility of losing money, but when you look at the long term, you could pick the best company out there. There are going to be days that it's up. There's going to be days that it's down, right? But in the long term, those down days are just a small blimp in the trend or the upward projection of the company if you choose wisely. And I actually like to look at those down days as opportunities to buy more. So my dues would be, as everyone mentioned, start yesterday, right? Start now. Start small. If you don't have a lot of money to invest, you can do a small amount every month. And I like to do what they call dollar cost averaging. So if I dedicate a certain dollar amount to invest every month, in the months where the market is up, that's great, right? Your returns are there. And the months that is down, that amount that I invest will actually get me more stocks than it would have if it was up. So you kind of benefit for both the ups and the downs. A key saying that I heard recently that I like is you budget to save, you save to invest, and you invest to build wealth, right? So we definitely want those emergency funds. They're stable in a bank account, but once you have that set and once you have everything else taken care of, you definitely want to start not just saving money, but growing your money, because that's really the key to building wealth, and it's the key to getting to the financial freedom stage that we're all looking for. So invest now, invest regularly, monthly if you can. As far as some don'ts, I would say don't fall into the hype of investing. Don't really jump into foreign exchange investing or the Forex trading. There's a lot of Forex MLM companies coming out now. Those are ways where you can really not just lose your money quickly, but possibly even lose more than you invested to begin with. So stick with the long-term, solid companies, do your research. There's different types of analysis that you can do to help pick which companies you want to invest in, and just focus on educating yourself, selecting the right companies and sticking to it long-term.
Okay, so I'm gonna hop back over to Maureen. Thank you so much, Latisha. And I'm gonna ask you, give me some tools. I'm leaving this meeting today, but I want to keep reading or looking at a website or listening to a podcast or kind of checking in with an app or something. I want to keep learning more. Maureen, what is your suggestion? What tools, what hacks, what other things can we keep looking at?
So I have a few ideas here. I would say never miss an opportunity to speak to an advisor. People think you need a lot of money to talk to someone. I'm sure everyone on this panel does consulting work for free. Take advantage of it. Call all three of us. That's a great way to immerse yourself in education. One thing I would say I'm not a big fan of is Dave Ramsey. I think he gives some really good advice, but he's got some conflicts of interest. So I'll just leave it at that, but be careful who you get advice from. So we use eMoney and Leap. I think those are great.
Can you say that again? I'm going to drop that in the chat.
Sure, it's eMoney, EMONEY.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also use a system, all caps, Leap, LEAP. And there's so many good tech systems out there to track your spending. It's more important to actually do the work than to find the perfect tool, I would say. But we use those and they're great. In terms of books, my favorite 101, it's not in the bookstores anymore, but you can get used copy. It's the Wall Street Guide to Money and Investing.
Oh, that sounds great. I'm going to
It's
put that in the
very
chat
simple.
too.
What's a stock? What's a bond? It's great. I'm going to order it for my kids.
Say the name again, the Wall Street.
The Wall Street Journal Guide to Money and Investing.
Okay. I feel like that's something that kids should learn earlier than we teach them.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, that could be a whole nother session. My favorite book is The Power of Zero by David McKnight. It is a very short, well-written, concise book that explains Roth IRAs, 401k, all the tax treatments, the different options you have. It's excellent. Another one I like is Paychecks and Playchecks, Retirement Solutions for Life. And I can post this after if that's helpful, by Tom Hegna. And then podcasts, my favorite podcasts for women, like a beginner's one, but also everyone can learn. Her Money by Jean Chatzky, Chatzki. She also has a huge Facebook group and a website, hermoney.com. The Power Zero also has a podcast, Study Billionaires, Secrets of Wealthy Women, which is a Wall Street Journal one. And then Freakonomics was a radio show, and
Oh, yes.
with NPR. Now it's a podcast.
I like that podcast, actually. That's a pretty good one that I actually do subscribe to. So awesome.
Oh, good.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for all of those. I really do invite you. Would you share those in the group so that I tried to type really quickly and get a bunch of them there, but if you would share over to the group, that would be awesome.
In chat, or do you want me to do it separately on your Facebook page?
Separately on the Facebook page.
Okay.
Yep. Awesome. Sure. Jackie, may I invite you to share your, wisdom of things that we can use as follow-up material?
Absolutely. Maureen, those were excellent, excellent suggestions. And to layer on top of that, a few things I would encourage for anybody who really wants to start tracking the market at all, or just to get some general sense of what the market is doing and how different things are affecting it. Marketwatch.com has some really great articles in there. They're easy to read. There's a lot of information on there, so you can find out what's happening in the markets today, what's affecting the markets today, what different prognosticators are saying and things like that. Really love that. Morningstar.com has a premium version that you can pay for, but there's also the free version. There is such a wealth of information there. Morningstar.com not only tracks stocks, but mutual funds, ETFs, 529 plans, the whole gamut. So if you're trying to kind of compare some stocks together, that's another really great place to just kind of go. And you can even build a portfolio to take a look at it and track it and see how things are going. There's also a wealth of market information, as well as very good educational pieces, as Maureen said, about different things, taxation-wise, what is a bond, all of that. You're going to find a lot of fantastic information there, and you can I would advise, popping in once a week, take your lunch break, pop in, read a different article. And then lastly, for your phone, if you really wanted to start tracking a few stocks, Yahoo Finance is a great app to have on your phone. I keep it on my phone. I have stocks that I'm tracking for myself and my clients on there. And so I can just quickly, pop right in there and see what's going on in the market today. So those are probably the three top places that I would encourage people to start looking, just for, education. I think all three of us have said that over and over. Can't hit that enough. Education, education. And I was in a marriage. I'm the financial advisor, and I was in a marriage where my husband, I deferred to him, didn't end well. We ended up in financial distress. So please make sure, if you are in a relationship, that it is a partnership.
I really appreciate you sharing that information with us. That's, very personal and very private, and that you've trusted us with that is very, very meaningful. Thank you. let me hop on over to Latisha. So I'm going to share something with you guys that, I mean, in addition to, like your typical Scottrade app on your phone and your, those kinds of things, I use Cash App sometimes to pay people or do other things, but in that Cash App, you can actually track and see how different stocks are doing. And it's pretty simple the way that they've laid it out. It's not in any great detail, but it gives you like an idea of how they've been doing over the last month, how they've been doing today, how they've been doing over the past year. And so you can kind of have an idea. And it's an app that you already have on your phone that you're probably using to pay people or get money from people. So it's a pretty easy way. That would be one suggestion that I would make for everybody. And I'll tell you another little thing that I do. Sometimes I get like extra money. Like the other day I got $35. I kid you not, $35. It was just a random Visa gift card that somebody gave me. Guess what I did? I went on my Cash App and I bought $35 a portion of Tesla, just like a little tiny piece of a Tesla share. But all of these little things, they add up. And you know how Maureen and Jackie and Latisha are saying that you should always be saving and you should have started saving yesterday. And I thought that was like a fun little thing to do, because sometimes little pieces of money like that just disappear. You don't even know what you did with it. You probably hopped off the exit and went to Dunkin' Donuts. Am I right, Jackie? So Latisha, what are your suggestions?
Okay. Maureen and Jacqueline covered a lot of it. I will throw in a book that is not specific to investing, but that I really liked, called The Compound Effect, right? So Davia, this is actually goes to what you were just saying. So it talks about how the small things that we do daily add up to big things later on, right? So every time you throw in that $35 here, what I like to do is probably about every quarter, right? If I'm set to save a certain amount, my budget is going well, things are going well. Every quarter, I'll try and bump it, even if it's $10, $20 per paycheck, right? I'll bump it. And over time, those $10, $20 add up to hundreds as the years go on. So I really like that book. I use Yahoo Finance. I like bar charts to help look into different companies. They can give you some trend analysis, technical, fundamental analysis on different companies. I like Zacks.com if you're interested in really understanding how much money a company makes, how many different streams of income they have. I kind of, see how Apple is doing this quarter versus last year at this time. So I really like that website. And TD Ameritrade is great. They have a product called Thinkorswim, and they have a lot of educational resources around learning how to invest there. So I use that regularly. And I've used Cash App too. What I like about Cash App, as Davia said, they do give you the option to buy fractional shares of stock, where a lot of the other major brokerages don't. So if you only have $100 and you want to share a Tesla, which is more than 100, or you want to get into Amazon, which is over $3,000 a share now, you can use Cash App to get small percentages monthly.
I like that. I like that a lot. So, guys, we're right up on time. And so I would like to invite you to do two things when I come around for the next pass. I would like to invite you to please share with us any final parting words. And if you have any promotions or anything that our audience can connect with you with, can you share that too? Maureen, you want to go?
Sure. I'm trying to think of what we haven't covered. Maybe the other big one is don't kick the can down the road. Don't put your head in the sand. Don't wait. I've heard it just gets worse. It never gets better. There's always something you can do, but the sooner you get a hold of it, the better off you'll be. So I think that's one thing maybe we haven't talked about. I do have a seminar coming up on financial planning for women. It has to be rescheduled. I don't have the date. With your permission, I can post it when
I invite you to post it.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that's it.
Okay, and you guys will post all your resources and links that you mentioned in the group, right? That's awesome. Latisha, you want to give us your final words and any way that we can connect with you?
Yes. I would say I'm very big on automation, right? Automate everything. Automate your savings. Excuse me, every dollar that comes in is automatically filtered to the right bucket. I automate my savings every month. I automate my investing every month. So everything just runs smoothly and like clockwork, whether I have time to actually look into it or not. The second thing I would say is I would definitely recommend financial advisors. You have Maureen, you have Jacqueline. The investment part, the stock is just a small piece of it, but when you want to look at the holistic approach, right, and make sure your tax strategy is there, your estate planning, if you guys are gonna build this amazing portfolio and estate, you want to make sure everything is taken care of, handed down to next generations, in the best manner. So I definitely recommend working with a financial planner to make sure you have all the pieces lined up correctly.
Awesome. Thank you. And is there anything that you want us to connect with you? Any way that you want us to connect with you?
Yes, you can connect with me on Facebook. I'm part of Davia's group. And I can also share my email and contact information in the chat.
Awesome. Excellent. And Jackie, may we have your final words, please?
Sure. You know, first of all, Davia, you've put together an amazing panel. I think we've all just layered in so much information here so nicely without even rehearsing. It's phenomenal. So thank you, Latisha.
Yeah, I don't have
Maureen.
time for rehearsing, so.
But I really appreciate this. To Latisha's point, to working with and Maureen, working with an advisor, you can make sure that you have the right tools for the right job. I'm all about that. So that would be probably my final word, is to make sure that you're working with someone who can make sure there's tools out there you may be unaware of that are exactly the right tool for exactly the right job at the right time. So consult with any one of us and we can help you with that. And I don't have a date yet, but I will be putting out an interview with one of my clients. She's a woman who divorced with young children and made life happen for herself. And she was able to retire at 64 and just do some consulting work. And I loved her story. It's powerful. So I'm going to be, I asked her if she would be willing to do an interview with me, and she said, absolutely. And it's a story that we all need to hear. She did not just sit down and roll over. She did a lot of what we're talking about, which is consistency, saving, while raising 2 children. So that'll be coming out soon.
Awesome. Well, as you have your events coming up, please do post them in the Ladies Power Lunch forum so that we can all stay on top of that. I put a note in the chat as well that I'm asking you to remember to just post the resources that you mentioned, because you guys mentioned a lot of really great resources. Thanks everybody who's able to join us today. Thank you, Latisha. Thank you, Maureen. And thank you, Jackie, for just stepping up and giving us the step 1 to moving forward in planning our money. I feel like there's an opportunity for us to all do this again sometime soon. So if you guys think that that feels right for you, just let me know and we can get it on the calendar. The party for Friday isn't over yet because Free Gift Friday is coming up at 1 o'clock. So please do join us and we'll be talking about confidence. I feel like it's a perfect fit to our conversation this morning because we're talking about our money and we're talking about our confidence, and that's where we're focusing our attention today. I feel like if we can get those 2 things right, we're gonna be okay, guys. We're gonna be okay. So have a great rest of the day, and if you can, do join us later. Talk to you soon, and thanks for joining. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.